Everyone, this is Dr. Bukhari. So throughout my research career, I've been part of multiple research projects and got a chance to document the output of experiments in the form of a research paper that we have submitted to multiple journals and conferences. So with this research paper writing series, I will teach you step by step how to write a good, compelling research paper. So the first part is the abstract. Now, what is an abstract? We define the abstract as a brief summary of a research article or a brief summary of if we are writing any other type of article. So it's basically a short one para, 150 to 250 words summary of your work. Now, I have divided this video into the three parts: what you need to know before writing an abstract, what you should consider while you are writing your abstract, and what you should look at when you are done with your abstract. So starting what you need to know before writing an abstract. Now, the most important thing is to know that who's gonna read your abstract, who will be your audience. For example, if you are gonna submit a paper to a research conference which is relating to say NLP, or if it is some relating to breast cancer, so your audience will be the people, those who are already in the NLP domain, or those who are either studying cancer, working on some cancer, or maybe they are doctors. So that would not be a general audience, right? And same as, if you are writing a paper, say not in the science articles, you are writing an article for just like a article to a news or a article to a journalism journal, then you have to, or you are writing a report, a public report, then you have to use the language, or you have to write a way so that the maximum audience will understand about your work. So knowing your audience is very, very important. With that, it helps you to carefully choose the word. It will help you to carefully choose the structure, logically link your sentences, logical links your paragraphs. So knowing your audience is must. Now, when you got your idea, who will be your audience, and what I do there, I usually, for example, if I have to write a paper for a particular conference, I try to go to that conference page and look for the previous proceedings. And if I find the paper, if I download usually, 3 to 4 paper, or maybe if everything is online, I can just scroll down and see that the titles of the paper. I read the overall abstract, try to understand the language. At that time, my focus is on just to look at what sort of language, at what level of depth the researcher or the people they have write their abstract. So overall, with this exercise, I try to get the overall idea, and this would also give me the idea about the audience as well. Usually we have on the conference side, we have the people listed over there. On the journal side, we can see the papers. We can also see the research interest. If there are special issues, they have listed their topic. So from that, overall, we could get the idea about our audience. When I determine that this could be, roughly would be my audience, afterwards, I go and see the length and style, right? If you can see, the length and style is very important, and this varies from conference to conference, journal to journal, and we also have the different types of the abstracts. We also different types of the papers. And for example, we have the short papers, we have the long papers. If you haven't watched my video about the types of research papers, I highly recommend you to go and watch my my types of research paper. That would give you the idea what types of research papers are research articles, and each have a different type of the abstract. In general, we can divide the abstract between a descriptive type of abstract and informative type of abstract. Descriptive types of abstract is usually short. We have like 150, 120 to around 180, around 200 words. Informative abstract could be long. Again, the range is 150 to 250 words. So overall, if we see that all the abstracts fall between 100 to 250 words, not more than that. If there are particular instructions, if your journals or conference paper allows you, please follow the instructions. So again, length and style is very, very important after the knowing your audience. Now, another important point which I consider while writing, as I know established, like who will be my audience, and I am now fully aware about the formatting and style about the paper. I just jump into the writing, and what I do that I take a paper, and in the paper I just in the bullets, in the points, I just write about about my paper, what I am doing, why I am doing, is there any related research paper available. So I just don't write it in sentence. I just write up maybe a one, the word that could give me a hint. Later on, I could, connect that dots and will structure my abstract. Now, when we write that, logical and concise, when I say, so we have to usually abstract have a intro, body, and conclusion part. I will give you with an example that what I mean by intro, what I mean by body, what I mean by conclusion part. Some abstracts, some journals give you a specific format. They ask you like the method part, the result sections, and that's but roughly you can consider that they have some intro part, some body part, and conclusion part. When you write intro, your intro and body should be logically connected, and same as your body should be logically connected to whatever the methods and experiment you use that and conclusion that you have. So everything should be logically concise. It should make a story. Now, we are now at the part of writing. So this is, I found is very, very interesting. I always share with my colleague and student. So you see that on top. So this is so we start with, just to check that intro, body, and conclusion. So what come in the intro part, if you look at that, we start with 1 to 2 sentences providing a basic introduction to the field, comprehensive to a scientist in any discipline, which means we write the words, we write 2-3 sentences in a way that would cover the broader audience, right? If you are working on metaphysics, you just write a few sentences about physics, maybe in a very generic sentences that could build a base for that. Afterwards, we write 2 to 3 sentences of the more detailed background, comprehensive to the scientists in related field. First 2 sentences that are more basic. Afterwards, to explain that sentences or to form a story, we write 2 to 3 sentences. Now, you see, we set a base from broader to we are going to narrow down, and then in a one sentence, we clearly state the general problem being addressed by a particular study, like what we are going to do that, what's our contribution. But see, here we are just introducing what's our contribution is that, right? But afterwards, we write one sentence summarizing the main results. And usually, you can use you can start with like, in this study, we performed these experiments using these techniques to solve this problem, blah, blah, blah. This you can add over here. Afterwards, you can add 2 to 3 sentences explaining what main result reveal in direct comparison to what thought to be the case previously, right? If you set a hypothesis, like at the beginning you said like X, you will compare X with Y, and X has a different range. It could be different. I mean, whatever the hypothesis you set, that the method that you have used, that whether you would able to your results that you got, that they are in favor of that, are in against of that, or you get no result, whatever you got out of your experiments, we document over here. Afterwards, just to elaborate further, we write the 2 or 3 sentences explaining the main result revealed, like why we think that these results are significant. And then we write 1 or 2 sentences to put the result into more general context, right? Why we started with the providing a basic introduction, and so that the audience with the broader audience would understand. Now, and when we conclude that, we try to write our result in a way that the broader audience would able to understand that. And afterwards, like then again, it's depend on the structure. Basically, maybe you can elaborate further. You can ask that in future we will work on that thing. Or if there is any other information, important information you see your audience should know, you can write that information over there. So that's how I usually write that. It could be, again, depend on the journals and conference structure. I mainly, sometimes I change and deviate whatever the structure I shared, but mainly it follows the intro, body, and conclusion part of logical division. Now, when I done with my writing, what I do that, I usually read my abstract loud, and I highly recommend you to read your abstract loud. Why? It gives me the idea about the illogical structure. It gives me the idea about the missing information. It gives me the idea. I consider myself now as a reader. I put that how a reader will read it, and how the reader will get at what part of it, at what level the reader will get the information about from the abstract. And then, if there is a logical structure is incorrect, I try to write. I try to remove a lot of things. So here I just put that the things that usually the people in early careers, they make a mistakes. For example, they add abbreviation, a lot of abbreviation. If there is abbreviations are absolutely required, you can write the abstract abbreviation followed by some description of the abbreviation. References, no, we don't add any references unless until you are, that's the continued work from your previous experiments, and you have to refer to that. But usually again, it is not recommended. We can say that based on our previous study, the work that we are working on, but we usually do not add references in the abstract. Same as we do not add images. We do not add unnecessary detail explaining the sentences. We do not write that how we perform our experiment in detail. This is a summary, right? And we have to sell ourselves in this 250 words, our research, right? So we have to carefully choose these sentences. We have to carefully choose the words, knowing our audience. And Also, last but not least is the ambiguity. If there is any kind of ambiguity, fuzziness, opaqueness, we should look at that and try to remove those words. And when I done all these things, and then again, I read that, I usually give my abstract to my friend or to someone working with me and ask them to read. You always need it's always to get the others people's opinion on that. I also go for to check for the grammar, to check for the flow, and then I also take my abstract and look for that conference and research journal abstract and see that up to what level, up to what quality level, or up to what level it seems though. Like my research is different, but you can see that, oh, this is a good quality. Oh, this seems not very good quality. So I try to be to write the abstract or to polish the abstract the way that are already accepted. So when I done with all these things, I usually submit my abstract. And some abstract, sometimes they will ask you to write the keywords. Keywords are very, very important. Keywords, you see, we started with the keywords. Like when I have to search a paper, I just go and write a keyword. So keywords, writing and choosing a carefully keywords are important if you want that the people would able to see your research, or your research would be more visible. So choosing a keyword which could reflect overall your work is very important. Not to choose too wide, not to choose too narrow, and try to add the key, try to avoid adding the keywords which are less popular. And same as if you want to make a broader audience to look at that, you maybe, for example, if you are working something on the projects involving with the meta or augmented reality or virtual reality, you can put the artificial intelligence over there. So because these things fall under the artificial intelligence, right? If you're working something in medical that is relating to, with the chest infection, or maybe you can put the influenza, or you can put something, that could be come on top of that. So in that way, it would cover the broader audience. So that's all from this video. I hope you have learned a lot from this. And if you find this video useful, please share. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.